Okay, we're going to be starting with volume of cylinders, but we have to first remember how to find the area of a circle. So that's the first thing we're going to do. So we're going to do pi r squared. And for right now, we're going to use pi is 3.14. Oops, 14. There is a pi button on your calculator, but we're just going to stick with 3.14 for right now. So if I was to find the area over here, pi r squared, so radius, this right here is my radius, so that would be 4 squared. Now if I wanted an exact answer, I would say that this is my exact answer. If I wanted an approximate answer, I would take 16 and I would multiply it by 3.14 and I would get approximately 50.24 units squared. Now, when you're talking about a cylinder, it's a three-dimensional object with two parallel congruent circular bases. So sometimes it may look like this. Okay. This right here is a base. This right here is a base. Okay. The radius. Okay, just like the radius here, it's halfway across the circle. The diameter is all the way across the circle. The height of a cylinder is the part between the two bases. Okay? So here we're going to look at this. So the radius of this, halfway across the circle. What's halfway across the circle? 9 millimeters is halfway across. The diameter would be all the way across. So that would be another 9 millimeters on this side. So that's a total of 18 millimeters. And the height is the distance between the two bases, which is 11 millimeters. Over here, if you're looking at this, it gives it from one end of the circle to the other end of the circle. So that means that that's the diameter. Radius would be half of that. Now, even though this is on its side, this would be the base here and the base here. So the distance between those two is 4 centimeters. So the volume of a cylinder is going to be pi r squared h. And that would get us our exact answer, but you can also plug in 3.14. Oops, I did not mean to put pi again. R squared h. So let's go ahead and find the volume over here. If you notice, I started doing it a little bit. Okay, so this up here is going to be our radius, and this right here is going to be our height. So when it wants our exact answer, it's not looking for you to plug in 3.14. We're going to just plug in pi r squared times h. So we do our exponent first, which would be 16 times 6 pi. So that would get us 96 pi. 96 pi centimeters cubed. And the approximation of that would be us taking the 96 times 3.14 and getting 301.44 centimeters cubed. Okay, so let's go ahead and start doing these down here. So again, I do pi r squared h. I multiply those out. I would get 9 times 10 pi. So that would get me 90 pi inches cubed. Okay, So then I would take 90 and multiply that by 3.14. 90 times 3.14, and I would get 282.6 inches cubed. Okay, this next one. So my volume is going to equal, well, this is my diameter, but I don't want my diameter. I want the radius, so that's going to be 9 inches. So pi 9 squared times 12. So that's going to be, oh, what a silly person. 81 times 12 pi, and no, I don't know that off the top of my head. That's going to be 972 pi. So 972 pi inches cubed is going to be our exact answer. And taking 972 and multiplying it by 3.14 is going to get us 3,052.08 inches cubed. Okay, so let's come over and do this one. So the volume here is going to be pi 3.1 or 3.5 squared times 9. Okay, so 3.5 squared is going to be 12.25 times 9 pi. And that will come out to 110.25 pi. So 110.25 pi meters cubed. And the approximation times 3.14, and I think I forgot to write it as an approximation before, but that's okay. You can forgive me. And that is meters cubed. Okay, so now we're going to go down here. It says, the soup can is filled with soup at a rate of 13 cubic inches per second. How long will it take to fill the soup can of the picture below? So first we have to find the volume. So let's find the volume. So volume is going to equal pi. Now this is the diameter. So the radius for that is going to be 5.5. So we're going to take 5.5 and we're going to square that. And then it says 8.4 for the height. So we're going to do 5.5 and we're going to square that. And we're going to get 30.25 times 8.4 pi. 8.4. And that's going to get us 254.1 pi inches cubed. Okay. Now, oh, I should do, sorry about that. I should do the approximation. So 254.1 times 3.14 will get us approximately 797.874 inches cubed. If it fills 13 inches per second, how can you find how many seconds it will take to fill the entire can? So this is how much we have, and this is how fast it fills up. Okay, so we're going to take 797.874 and we're going to divide that by 13. And when I do that, I get approximately 61.4 to the nearest second, sorry. Well, I'm going to do 0.4, so that's going to be approximately 61 seconds. Okay, So how much more does Dad's cup hold than Mom's? So we have to find the volume for both Mom and Dad's. So Dad, we have the volume equals, now this is the diameter. I need the radius. So radius is half of that. So pi 3 squared times 6. So that's going to get me 9 times 6 pi. So that's going to get me 54 pi inches cubed. Then this is also the diameter. So we need, okay, so pi, the radius on this is going to be 2 squared times 4. So that's going to be 4 times 4 pi. So it's going to get me 16 pi inches cubed. So how much more? Well, 54 pi minus 16 pi is going to get us, let's see, that's going to be an 8. And that's going to get us 38 pi. Inches cubed. Okay. Okay, so let's look at this. The director of marketing department at Rice's Nice Company sends a memo to her product development. She requested that the volume of the new cylinder prototype equal 602.88 centimeters cubed. 2 designs were created. Which one meets her requirement? Okay, so let's look at the first one. Volume is pi and the R is 8 times the height of 3. So that's going to get us 64 times 3 pi. So that's going to be 64 times 3. It's 192 pi. And we need the approximations times 3.14. And that's going to get 602.88. Look at that. Now, we have to be careful because we want to see if the other one does it too. So let's try the second one. So the volume equals pi r squared times 12. So let's look at this. That's 16 times 12 pi. So 16 times 12 gets 192 pi. Oh, look at that. Oops, that should be approximation. They both equal the exact same thing. So it actually could be both of them, not just one of them. Okay.